Yeah, everything is working. Is it? Yeah, we seem to be live. So we'll just wait for Friday night. It's just 8 o'clock, so people should start turning up now soon, hopefully. Um, I just noticed my internet is freezing every now and again, so I just hope everything will be fine. Um, I'm just going to. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Era Military Collectibles. Since we've changed the name, this is the first live stream actually since we've changed the name. World War Bricks. I'll be back in about 30 minutes. No problem, buddy. I guess you're still busy. It says we have 3 people online, so I'm sure a few more of the regular guys will drop in. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnecting. Oh, I hope everything goes okay. It's a bit windy here today now, so I don't know if that's affecting the live stream. I hope it doesn't. So yeah, so as I was saying, we will hope a few more of the regular guys will pop in and pop out. Says there's 4 people online. So yeah, so we'll just see who is about. I will answer some questions, and the usual, we'll talk about stuff that has happened over the week, things that have come into the collection. The helmet, I won't say restoration project, seems to have gotten an awful lot of interest. Um, so we'll talk a bit more about that as well when people start to arrive. Um, yeah, so it's been a busy week. I'm just noticing here it's freezing every few seconds, so I'm just trying to keep an eye on the old Tinternet to make sure I don't get knocked off. What if I get knocked off? Sure, we'll come back again. So, Patrick, how are you? How are we doing? Um, your items are out of quarantine, so we will have a look at them in a while. Um, Stan was looking for you actually. Did you send him a message? I emailed you. I'm not sure if you got my message because he had the same problem. He had the same problem with his emails that were kept coming back to him. So who else is online actually tonight? We've Patrick anyway. We've World War Bricks. It says he's gone away. He'll be back in about 30 minutes. Um, so the restoration project anyway for the helmets are this one is probably going to be left alone. No, I'm just going to clean it up, and I will dub the inside of it and just clean it up and give it a bit of a tidying. I can't make out the date now, but there is a date here on the back, and it's 1940 MNS, I think, or MS. It's fairly in good condition. I'll probably put some rust killer on it, and that'll be about it. Kenny, hello, how are you? So I'll probably put some rust killer on it, and that'll be about it. Few guys apparently the one hole, the holes represent the standard of the steel. So there's a grading system. So it goes from 1 to 4. Um, this one is 3. So this would be, I won't say the bottom of the road. It would be towards the end of your service. So it's probably used for military, for civil defense and things like that. Now I have noticed what is going wrong here. I'm actually getting emails, so that's why the computer is freezing. So I'm just going to shut this off here now for 1 second. No, back to normal. So how is everyone else anyway? Patrick, how are you keeping? This is the other helmet that will be. This one is definitely going to be restored. And I have. I need to sort of really sand it down and stuff to try and get a good look at the metal and things, but she's definitely going to take some body filler to get the dents out of it and things. And I'm probably going to do this as First World War, because I was looking online and there's actually very, very few. A managed contact stand just happened. Has just happened to rediscover a French Adrian helmet. Very, very good. But yeah, so that other Brody, yeah, I was looking online in relation to doing research on how to restore it, and it's very slim pickings on videos, especially First World One Brody helmet liner installations. So I reckon that's what we're going to go, the road we're going to go down. So that's it. Dutch, how are you keeping? Hope you're doing well of this Friday night, Friday evening. So a few other items came in this week, all from Podrick there, by the way. Thank you very much, Podrick. Do any of you know what that is? Very simple pouch. There's two ways of fitting it. You can either fit it that way onto your belt, or you can use the hooks on the back to fit it. I'll give you a few minutes to see if any of you know how to do it, or what way to do it. This one is dated 1971. Make out the date in there. 1971. And it is serial numbered as well. Well, I think that's a I don't know, is that a serial number or a stock number? It looks like a serial number because it's over a few different numbers. I'm not actually sure. I don't know, Patrick, were these theatre only issue or were these standard issue? Dutch, you have it. Well done, Dutch. It is for the SLR, but it is a different type. An interesting thing for the SLR because of the weight of the SLR and because of guys in the north and things like that. They wouldn't wear their rear slings anyway on their guns. So what this is designed for is to literally, on their hip, is to hold the weight of the gun. That's what it's actually designed for. But I'm not sure if they were a theatre issue or whether they were standard issue. That's exactly what it is. So you can take the weight of it, still hold it at the ready, but actually have it on his belt. And then if he needs that, he can just slot it out. It's like a little holster. Imagine having a holster for an SLR. But yeah, YouTube, airsoft replica, not an actual real one. Have a calm down. Take a chill pill. Oh, so there we go. Patrick, by the looks like you're the only admin around at the minute. So I hope you're not going to be too busy tonight. The next item that came in this week is side cap. Nearly pretty much the same as the British during the Second World War, or the Second World War type. But the difference is with this one, it's Bundeswehr. And it is Bundeswehr from, if Simon, or if Stan comes in, I'll show this again. But there you go. See the date on it? 1968 is the date. So yeah, so a lot older than me anyway. So another interesting thing that I received. That wouldn't have been, it's probably only 10 years after the actual Bundeswehr was. Wouldn't have been that long actually, because the Bundeswehr wasn't formed until after Korea. If I remember correctly, Korea was finished in 52. So 68, yeah, so it would have been the middle of the road in relation to the history of the Bundeswehr. Would have been that. And I did have another chap kindly gift me No, same again. He didn't give me permission to mention his name, but he gifted me 54, maybe 54, Kenny. I'm not sure when it was. I must look it up. But he gifted me a prismatic compass. Now the glass is cracked on this, but we will try and get it repaired. And there is a massive air bubble in it, but we will fix that as well. But this is GNT something or other. I can't pronounce it. Galets, London, 1945, and it is the Mark III. Can you see that there? There we go. They were part of a series of pouches such as compass, magazines, grenades, etc. None were ever really adopted, where though I believe the SAS used them. The SLR pouch was always maintained alongside in Northern Ireland. Okay, so they would have probably been a theatre. However, I have seen no real proof that they were used. No, I don't see. I don't know they're advertised as Northern Ireland pouches, but I have yet to see an actual proof of. I don't think I have seen video evidence or photographic evidence of guys actually using them, but they are plentiful around the place, so they could have been used in store or kept in stores and things like that. But I am not 100% sure whether they were used or whether they weren't used or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know. So we'll wait and see. So how is everybody anyway? Yeah, we're going to play. We're going to do a little interesting thing actually tonight. Um, because I'm a guy emailed me out of the blue from. To what extent is still to what extent is still in use PLCE system in MBT in British Armed Forces? Thank you. I don't think much of it is used at all. Um, I think they've completely gone away from the PLCE system to a battle vest body armor type thing. I don't. I'm not 100% sure about the British stuff. I don't think they were ever used. Never seen them in any photos. Yeah, I have never seen them in any photos neither. Um, but you do see them turn up on eBay and things like that. It's just an interesting. It's an interesting little item to have anyway. Where the hell did I put it? Oh yeah, it's an interesting little item to have. Um, like this is in such good condition. It's never been issued. Well, there is a serial number in it, and it's a serial number wrote over a serial number. The original the So I'm not sure, and it is marked for with the Broadsfoot. I don't know if any of you can see in there. So I'm not 100% sure. Stan, how are you? Welcome. I might as well show you again, seeing as you're here, Stan. We have joined the Bundeswehr for the evening. Private purchase, perhaps. It could be like a rifle scrim, never really seen, but definitely used. Yeah, it could be. I'm not 100% sure. So, Stan, what do you think of my Friday Night Live cap? Will we leave it as it is, or will we change it? Because we could change it, I suppose. Isn't there? There's another YouTuber does that. He actually wears full uniforms and stuff. It looks like an early cap. It is. It is 1968. So very early. So should I leave it on, guys, for the live stream, or will I change? Will I change as the live stream progresses? Military Collectibles is late as well. What are you up to over there, lads, that you're all late? She's very unpunctual. I suppose it is Friday. Guys are getting themselves sorted out, getting their things done. So yeah, so that's what's come in today. It's been or come in this week. It's been a quiet week. Um, I have been busy. I have a busy weekend ahead of me. So I hope to have Sunday video is done. I'm not telling you what it is. There always seems to be Bundy caps at car boot sales, and yes, leave it on. Okay, I better leave it on. So um, yeah, there does actually. Joe, what's always you always see turn up at car boot sales as well as for some strange reason is the you'll see gas masks always at a car boot sale for some reason. I don't know, is there a fetish out there for second hand gas masks? Hello, Jim. Stan wants me to wear this cap for the duration of the live stream, but we will probably change it. We'll pick a different one in a while and put on something else. But yeah, so yeah, the gas masks at car boot sales for some reason. You always find them. I don't know why. Bundeswehr hats, always find them. The East German helmets used to be very, very plentiful at car boot sales as well. Suits you, sir. That was what was that? Are you being served? Was that are you being served? Um, I did have another chap actually post me items as well this week. I got um, if I can remember off the top of my head correctly. Actually, I'm not going to say what I got because it's in a video. It's in a video, so we will leave it for the video. Thank you. By the way, nice to join the stream. Found this channel through in, interest in old school LBE gear and DPM camo pattern. Currently serving in Ukraine National Guard Anzo Regiment. Cheers. Well, best of luck and stay safe over there because I know you're having your own little issues with your neighbours. So just be careful and stay safe and keep the head down. Um, yeah. So for that chap, I don't actually have a DPM one. Oh, I do have a DPM one. We'll change caps for another bit. Oh, this is the Army of the Rhine. They're capped. This now you don't really see many of these. This is I don't know where the date is, isn't it? But yeah, these were private purchase. I think they were private purchase. They eventually became issue, but they're not a very good comfort cap. East German side caps seem to be less common and in always in small size. Um, you're right, actually. The East German caps, I like for some reason I've seemed to have managed to accumulate a very good collection of Bundeswehr stuff. Um, Colonel Derrick's. uh, so yeah, so I've seemed to have accumulated a good bit of Bundeswehr stuff now, and like always, if you collect one thing, I suppose you need a comparison. So now I need to start collecting East German stuff as well. Um, if I could just have a representation of a dude, a soldier, I don't like First World War, Second World War, Vietnam, um, for the Australians, and Banner. That's where I like to collect the small kit and stuff. But the bigger representations of, let's say, like Bundeswehr and East Germany, it's just a representation of a mannequin, pretty much, or a guy. If I could get that, and then I can have it on a clothes hanger and put it into the wardrobe and put it away. Otherwise, you're just going to get stuck with lots. I won't say stuck. Pardon me, I didn't mean to say stuck, but you're going to get lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff. Um, so yeah, so that's what I like to do and what I hope. But I do enjoy guys sending me stuff from the Bundeswehr, and I do enjoy researching it and reading it and things like that. So yeah, so who else have we? Any more questions? Actually, guys, I meant to say that in the last live stream. Don't be afraid to ask me questions in relation to the collection, in relation to me, because the live stream is hopefully a friendly atmosphere because there's no shows and because things have locked down and stuff like that, that we can just chat amongst ourselves, answer questions, uh, gather information and things like that. So don't be afraid to use that comment section there. And don't be afraid if you're new to the game, or if you're new to collecting, if you're new to reenacting, if you're new to whatever. There's no such thing as a stupid question. All questions are valid. Um, that's how we all learned, I should say. Cool. Yeah. Um, so yeah. So that's how we all learned. There was something else I wanted to show on the live stream tonight, and I can't bloody remember what it was. Oh, we'll get to it. We'll remember it. We will remember it. Or we shall remember them, as they say. Oh, that's what cut me into my leg. I was had the keys in my pocket. I just put them down there. Anyone know where all the Bundeswehr helmet nets are lurking? I don't know. I actually need to, because I don't have a helmet for my mannequin when I put the Bundeswehr stuff on him. I do need to get an M1 helmet. Now, I do have a Belgian M1 helmet, and I do have three, yeah, three reproductions of American M1 helmets, and I have an original Vietnam era M1 helmet. So I could just use one of them, I suppose, if I was really not bothered. But the liner, there is no liner actually on the inside of the Bundeswehr ones. There's an actual, the liner's part of the helmet, and it's completely different to the American, to any other, basically any other M1 variants that I can remember. It's its own individual one, and it's nearly it's probably the better of all of the liners, or the frames from the Bundeswehr stuff, or from the M1 helmet family, is the Bundeswehr one. Um, I know an awful lot of guys that say it's very, very comfortable to wear in prolonged periods. So that's that cap done. Very warm in here. Yes, having a comparison is good for discussions, though I collect Soviet gear. I like having a BAOR set up to explain Cold War and forces involved. Yeah, Jesus, the Cold War one would be very, very hard, because I mean you had so many NATO, NATO, and oh, Jesus, what was the Russians called? So I suppose Soviet forces. Um, I really want to get an original M35 or M40 or M42. Prices are obviously sky high. Do you think it is worth investing in one when there is so much collectible and cheaper military out there? Yes, I do. I do think they're worth investing, because especially with the German stuff, if you could get a good quality one at a reasonable enough price, they're not going to lose their value. Um, it's a matter of putting it in a glass case and keeping an eye on it. If you could get one with the initials on it, with the double decals, or even a single decal, um, yeah, I reckon, I reckon, it's a very, very good investment. The Vietnam stuff as well seems to be getting very popular and going up in price, so I think that's a good investment as well for people. I had a great event last weekend, still nursing the midget bites. Yeah, you were saying that, Dutch. Um, the Warsaw Pact. That was what the Russians were called. Yeah, you were saying that you're the 40s weekend. I can't wait to get to an event. Hopefully there'll be one this year. Uh, I love the Vietnam era kit. Had a flak jacket from 1968, but sold it to help buy a motorcycle. Should have kept it. The flak vest, that is. Anyone else getting leg? I'm sorry about the leg. I don't know what's the issue with the leg. Um, I don't know what's happening. Will hopefully it will catch up on itself. Um, I love the Vietnam era kit. Yeah, the Vietnam era kit as well is starting to get expensive. Their helmets now went from up on, the last time I went to a show, or the last time I got one from the States, I think it cost me about $100. They're gone up to nearly 150, $250. Um, the M1 helmets now, or sorry, the American M1 helmets from the Second World War. I can remember them at the same price, $150, 150. They're up on two, three, four, €400 depending on the quality, $400 depending on the quality. So if you can get a good um things like that now, like buying German stuff from the Second World War, buying American stuff from the Second World War, buying stuff from the British stuff. Well, we not always, but um, when you're buying high priced items like that, or you're thinking of investing in a high price item like that, don't look for a deal. Don't look for a bargain. Sorry, do look for a bargain. Do look for a deal, but go to a reputable dealer. Go to somebody that has been doing it for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, even, and get it from a reputable dealer. There are out there, they are out there. There's forums, there's things like that. Those guys, they won't be selling muck and they won't be selling reconditioned stuff, and trying to keep their business as well at the same time. I reckon it's going to be 800 sterling plus for a good M35. I will do it, but it's a big commitment. Yeah, it is a big commitment. And it's Andrew. Evening, Andrew. How are you keeping? Um, it is a big commitment, and it is very like it's a big chunk of change. It is a massive chunk of change. Um, go to a reputable dealer, and when I mean a reputable dealer, I mean the likes of regimentals, that type of dealer that specifically specify in that era and that type of thing like that. When were you doing the video on female or UC uniform? They were issued with a black handbag up until the middle of 1984 or 1994. I know that they were issued with a handbag. I don't actually have a handbag for them, but I must try and locate one. And they weren't armed. They weren't armed for a massive period of time. They used to have an escort. It will be coming up. Actually you've. I'll give you a hint. It's coming up at the end of this month. Um, I needed to get a tailor's mannequin because the mannequins I have are male, so I needed to borrow a tailor's mannequin that I could do it on it. So that's why I'm doing it. Hey Dutch, how's the midget bites? Dutchy's in bits actually. Apparently, he's well, he had the same event actually. I know Andrew was telling me he had to go to an event as well. Is there anything now that you say I'm not buying another, um, even if you give me a fiver? No, I'll always buy military stuff, or I'll always try and bargain for military stuff. Um, I'll always be buying stuff, and um, buying and trading. Um, there's no such thing as I'll never buy anything again. RUC bike uniform or oldie London police or oldie London police. Uh, the bike, but the RUC bike uniforms are rare. They are rare. The bikes in policing terms were changed. The reason they were rare is because you were they disbanded or were they only used on certain occasions because of the actual troubles, because they were easy targets on bikes. They had no protection compared to the Land Rovers and stuff like that. We were at the same weekend. Oh, very good, Andrew. Podrick may have a German fire police helmet M35. Maybe chin strap is split, but otherwise in good condition. No interest to me. Drop me or Stan an email and we'll try and steer you in the right direction of what to do with that helmet. I just bought an Irish DPM jacket here in Poland. Jim, how did you manage that? Might be a shirt as it is very light, but I will do a video on it. Where is my jacket? And I will tell you. It's up there in the box. The jackets have 4 pockets and a hood on it. They're the smocks. There's a field dressing on the pocket, and there is a notebook and biro on the other pocket. That's the smock. Then the barracks jacket is just like a dry flow jacket, like a soft or not a windproof jacket, hard shell jacket. They're heavy enough though, and they've got things on the cuffs. And then the shirt is just like your normal shirt, button up, two pockets on the chest, and that's it really. Um, where have we gone? Wasn't it Seamus Mary who wrote the poem about the bike lads? I don't know. I'm not sure. I must look up that one actually. Jim Timber 2, I'm wearing a Dutch DPM jacket and drinking. Are you in your shed, Stan? Are you in the man cave? I have a late London police. I have a late London police like around. I'm not sure what you mean. You have a late London police. You have a late London police bike jacket. Oh, riot gear. Sorry, riot gear. Um, the RUC riot gear now as well is starting to get harder to get. I am in the process of trying to get a set actually, but they are harder to get. They're getting harder to get. Mine has two pockets only, made by Syntex in Belgium. That's the shirt. That's the shirt. If it's only got two pockets, it's the shirt. Sleeve should be plain as well. No, I'm in the kitchen. Stan, it's arrived. It's arrived. What's arrived? Um, yeah. So the DPM jacket, Irish DPM jacket, has a hood, has a pocket on two pockets on the chest, two pockets on the hips, either sleeve. There's a pocket. There's a field dressing, and there's a notebook pocket. Shirt just has pockets on the chest. The RUC handbag are rare. I can't find them on the internet. RUC Road BMW bikes from 1978. Very good. I must look into a bit more about the bike stuff. The bike stuff eludes me because it's mainly the anti-terrorist stuff that I find interesting. Um, so yeah, hi Stan. I am drinking Inishin gin. Jesus, lads, you're all, and there's me drinking tea, like, and you're all on the sozzle. Actually, if any of you are interested, I'll just show you because I got the second one today. If any of you are interested in books, I have a link to the female RUC PSNI riot suit or the patrols. That's if you don't mind emailing me that link actually, operator to Jesus, what's my email? It'll be at the top of the video link anyway, at the top of the video description when this video goes live. So that's where it'll be. If any of you are interested into off banner stuff, there's two very good books that I found. No, I haven't finished this one yet, but there's a series of them. This is the two. So it's a force like no other. There you have a force like no other, and you have a force like no other. The next shift, and they are about they're short stories from the RUC guys throughout the day, and it literally starts at a shift. So it starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. It goes the whole way through, just short stories all the way to the end of the shift, and they're very very interesting to get an insight into what it was like to be a police officer in Northern Ireland and at that time. Jim Timber 2. Jim sent me an email. Sorry to clang up the live stream. Actually, the most odd item I have is a central bank security guard uniform, 60s, 80s, two pence, a jacket, and a cap. Dutch medic sounds good. Yeah, so I don't have much police stuff. I only have RUC stuff. So yeah, so I mean, lads, work away. The idea of this live stream is to talk amongst ourselves, to me, to ask questions to each other, to ask questions to me, and the reason for that is because of shows, because we can't get to shows at the minute and stuff like that. So don't worry about that. Currently reading a book about the Rexmas lads in East Germany. It's fascinating. What's this? What's the name of that book? Because I am actually trying to get back into reading books. I did do a few reviews on books and stuff, but they weren't very popular on YouTube. So I don't know whether I did a few, and I have a lot of books that I could do reviews on, but they just never got many likes, or they never got many people weren't interested in them. So I just didn't carry on doing it. Um, so yeah, so that's the videos, or the books. But yeah, so they are very good books. I'll just give you uh, a snippet, pretty much. In 1968, the RUC was catapulted into the troubles, bombs, deaths, threats, and murder became a regular part of it, the day job. Working right at the heart of the conflict, police officers were often caught in the middle, heroes to some, villains to others. So that's just a little snippet from the back of those books. They are good books. It's 80s, 90s, 80s Small Shield. Is it the round one or the flat one? The round ones are good as well. Brexmas, The Last Mission by Steam. I must look up that. I like those type of books. I'm glad you get it, Stan mate. I'm glad you got it, Stan mate. I would have to sign out to answer your email, so I'll chat here. Yes, there you go. Let's work away. Just chat away. There's no hassle. Um, I'm easy going. I don't really care, to tell you the truth. I am happy though that my mods are on the job there, because we don't seem to have any more of them other little twats around the place lately. AJ, I have a Soviet observer and inspector pouches. I believe you have attached only 47 minutes. Andrew, Patrick. Do you know each other as well? We're all friends lately. I think reviewing books, you just get to put out brilliant bullet points and get yes list. It's not. I reckon just to do it like you're telling a mate. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like they're two very good books anyway. So go check them out, guys. I'll do my model. Far from a model. Look at the state of me. Need to shave. Oh, so we're back again. Did I show you actually this? No, I showed some of you, but a lot of you weren't here, so I show you this now. A gentleman um, donated this to me. No use to him. He said, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. Well, I do know what it is, but it's no good to me. Do you want it? So I said, yeah, if you don't want it, I'll take it. So looks like a little Easter egg up the top. And what it actually is a 1940 prismatic compass. Now the glass is cracked, and there is a huge air bubble in it. I'm not too worried about that. But my little World War II collection seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which is fantastic. So I can now use this along with my Bren gun and set up defensive positions. Imagine going out to the backyard and the neighbours would think I've been mad and digging trenches and setting up machine gun positions. Should do it some evening for the crack when they're having a barbecue. Set up set up a machine gun position looking straight down at them when they're having their barbecue. Be quite funny. Probably be arrested. But I do have a black weird sense of humour. So there we go. Is there still a lag, guys, or has it caught up? Is everything okay? Neil, how are you keeping? How are we doing? Welcome to the madness. Pull up a chair. You're more than welcome. It's an awesome piece of history. I love old compasses. Yeah, I have two of them now. I have that one and I have another one up there that I actually did a video on before. Now you need a Bren tripod. I do need a Bren tripod, Andrew, and I've been looking at it's like yeah, it's like Joe when you have one of those things. Yeah, I have the Bren gun. I have the transport box. So I try and get out all the components that was in the transport box. Now I'm looking at Bren gun anti-aircraft mounts and anti-aircraft sights and tripods and everything. I'm like, oh my god, no leg. Oh, so the leg is gone. So that's good. I have started collecting green radios. I would never part with any Klansmen. They are rocketing price. They are. I do actually have a Klansman. I have one over there. I have a 77 set there. I have a Prick 6 as well, and I have a pocket phone. So I do actually have a few radios around the place. First Battalion Rajaput, Rajapunta Rifles. Have you managed to get British Indian Army kit? I don't have any British Army Indian kit. Um, well, sorry, I do to a certain degree. I have Royal Munster Fusilier stuff, and Royal Munster Fusiliers were known as the Bengal Tigers because they were formed in India. Little interesting fact for you. They were formed out of a company from the West that were recruited from Ireland, so therefore they became an Irish regiment, and they were formed 98 foot and 100 and something foot were amalgamated to form the Munster Fusiliers. Don't quote me, I can't remember the regiments or the foot regiments off the top of my head, but they were formed in India, or when they were in India at the time when they were formed, and they became known as the Bengal Tigers. And on their cap badge, I don't actually have a cap badge handy, but I do have a crucifix, trench art, crucifix type thing. It's a Bengal Tiger. That's the Munster Fusiliers. So there you go. Little interesting fact for you. Bengal Lancers is an interest of mine. The British Army, British Indian Army is really overlooked in that topic. It is, yeah, it is overlooked. There are a few, there are a lot of regiments and a lot of groups in relation to the First and Second World War that are overlooked. South Africans, New Zealanders, Australians, the Maori Battalion is one. The New Zealand Maori Battalion. Um, they're overlooked a lot. The Australians had a massive battle in the Second World War, in the First World War. An awful lot of fighting was done. Pozieres, Passchendaele, around Ypres was all done by Australians. Just to be wary of anything leaking out of the compass as the paint on the old compasses is radioactive. I've got a World War II aircraft compass. I'm not too worried about it as long as it is in the cabin. No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it at all. There's nothing leaking out of it actually at all, and it's only the glass. The glass is cracked. That's the only thing, and it's just an air bubble in it. But no, there's nothing leaking out of it. It's all good. There you go. Was the 77 set used by the Irish? Have seen them on the border. Border soldiers using. What do you think of one? I liked the 77 set was easy to use. Pretty much we did use them towards the end of my career, and then we used a thing called the Singer, which is an American yoke, and that's frequency hopping. So it jumps from frequency to frequency to frequency, and you have to encrypt it. The 77 sets were fine. They were literally, once you set the channels on them, frequencies like tuning in a normal radio, they were perfect. The problem was when you bent forward with a 77 set, because of the backpack, that thing would slide and hit you in the back of the head. So you'd have lumps across the back of your head from bending down to pick up stuff or whatever and having that 77 set slam forward and hit you in the back of the head. Or you see Riot Squads, aka DMSU, yep, wore a green shirt, lightweight trousers, bottle green neo pullover, and arm pads and leg pads replaced with blue flame-proof overalls with RUC water bottles and holders. Yeah, I actually have. Oh, excuse me. Just need to move my brain out of the way if I can find it quickly. I actually do have one of the. I actually have one of the bottles, one of the Riot bottles. Now I have one for the PS9 and I have one for the RUC. I just can't remember which one's which because that's the RUC one. It's got a dent on it, so it probably got thrown at somebody at some point in time. But the PS9 ones are the exact same. The only difference is, come out there. There's the PS9 one. The only difference is tops of the bottles. One's grey, one's green. Now, as far as I know, that's the only difference. So there you go. And this one is there's no date in that one. There's no date in that one. But there we go. And the helmet as well. I don't understand what you mean about. Oh yeah, well, obviously they had a Riot helmet. I do actually have a Riot helmet belong to the PSNI / RUC. Sorry, let's try to get this back. There we go. So yeah. Sorry, have I answered everything? 77 say yeah. Air soldiers, they were easy to use. They were easy radio to use. That was the problem with the backpack was it would slant forward and hit you in the back of the head and you'd have a big lump in it. I had the unfortunate looking at. I had the unfortunate event of looking at Sinn Féin members trying to recreate 1916. They were wearing FCA uniforms with wooden guns. I'll link you the video. Oh my god. Look, we're not going to get into politics, not going to get involved with them. Each their own. But yeah, there are some absolute plunkers around the place in relation to doing certain things in uniform, not just in the Irish Army. Oh, excuse me. Happens. I don't know why I started yawning there. It happens in every army. Is there a 1968 Pat DPM jacket over your left shoulder in size 9? The size 9s are coming. That's 84. 84 pattern. That's 84 pattern. The pants are 68 pattern. I do have a 68 pattern jacket somewhere. It's not handy at the minute, but I do have one somewhere. And I do have the old green 60 pattern as well. The reenactment side more than the politics, yeah, exactly. My dad Andy was in public order duty in the town of Middle West Germany when the gang of leather-clad bikers tried to terrorize the town. I hope he gave as good as the bikers tried to give, because I really don't like bullies and I really don't like people that downtrod on other people for no reason. Um, I'm just trying to think. Sorry, I'm just trying to think in relation to where my 60th. How much money you've invested in the hobby? Oh my god, how much money have I invested? I would actually be frightened to think about how much I have invested. I was looking into ex-military radios here in the UK. There was a disclaimer on the website about the fact that I wasn't allowed to use military radios in civilian life. Is that the case? It depends on the frequency. The ones I have, my 77 set works. My Prick 6 works. But I have them converted, or they were converted for movies and for reenactments with a civilian walkie-talkie in them. So it's the frequency. The frequency is what's the problem. If you have a VHF, UHF license, you're fine. You can use the radio once you have that license. It's the frequency is the issue, but the radio isn't actually the issue. So yeah, where have we gone? Size 1. What's size 1? I lived in Menden. Now I'm in Berlin. Oh, okay. Um, Ronald. Hello, Ronald. How are you? Um, yeah. So the radios aren't actually the problem. If I could get one handy, hang on a second. Let's see if I can get one handy, and I'll show you. Right. So PRC 6, same as the ones that was used in Vietnam, Korea. That's what they are. This one is a German Bundeswehr version. See the German writing on it? Must actually get one of you to try and translate this for me because I don't have a bloody clue. Doesn't work anyway. Nothing on it works. Um, but what does happen is you open up the back. A friend of mine who is a genius and a radio technician, and there are guys that do this. Oh, I can open it. It's stiff. Hasn't been opened in a while. There we go. Who is a radio technician has converted it to have a walkie-talkie in the back. So it works both ways. You can either, is there power in this actually? Let's see. There is. So you can actually key the handset here. Won't work though, will it? See the light? So now she's transmitting. So that's one way of doing it. Now if I can see if it will work. Which one is it? Actually, I need to turn up the volume. I remember how to do the volume on the outside. I can't remember. We'll try and get it to work. There is actually a way of getting the actual radio to work that will pick up the channels. Sure, look, we'll leave it. We'll leave it for another day. But that's basically the PRC 6, Prick 6. It works like that. So when you key the handset, the radio works. So there you go. So this one and my 77 set are both the same. They can both work off each other. So if I'm outside in my man cave in a few years' time or whenever, and I have somebody that wants to find me, just find me on the radio. I'll give them the frequency. There you go. Just check in on me. Actually, I never turned this off. Sorry guys, now I'm just going to close this all up and put it away. Now, there we go. Now, so, there we go. Good bunch of lads in the Bundeswehr, made some great friends. Very good. Well done, Andrew. They didn't get rid of it. They only got rid of conscription there not so long ago in Germany, if I remember. Biggest problem is the power. Yeah, the biggest problem with those radios is the power. The batteries. You have to buy like a charging unit as well, unless you do get them converted. It just put me off buying, as I thought. Don't want to get into bother. If they're selling them, they're fine. Klansman as well that I have as well. You just have to worry about frequencies. Just don't use them. It's an easy way of doing it. I think I will stick with field telephones from the house to the man cave. Yeah, there you go. Easy way of doing it. Are the old green combats still easy to obtain in Ireland? The Irish ones or the British Pattern 60 ones? The Irish ones, no, they're not. You'll see them pop up on eBay and stuff like that every now and again. But in general, no, they're not, because a lot of them, when they changed over to the DPM, an awful lot of lads just dumped them back in 2000, which is 20 years ago now at this stage. I've got a radio now before this. I get a radio now before the supply dries up, Stan. There's a good piece of advice as well there for you, Stan. No, you'd be lucky to find a set of them now. Yeah, you would. I actually don't know. Wait, let's see if I can find my old green ones and I'll show you. No, it is for organized. So that's a pair. No, don't forget about this. This was an extra add-on that we used to do for rank marking. But that's what the old Irish olive drabs used to look like. There's the shirt, the pleat and the pocket, and the pants. So that's my old combat uniform before we got to DPMs. I just kept a set of mine and never handed them back. Sorry, where have we gone? First 1960s pattern DPM kit is rare. Rarer than Hensley. Now they are very rare. 68 is probably the easiest one that you'll find, and even at that, they're not that easy. Can you, where have we gone? Andrew Johnson, cheers for the tip. Yeah, Stan, no problem. Can you even put a price on the Irish ones? Have a lovely full badged up set of them, and they were early pattern 60 copy, but with the bottom pockets. There was a pattern before them. Yeah, to find than those ones. I found a pattern 85s Irish combats car boots for €50, but on eBay they're ridiculously expensive. They are ridiculously expensive because they're harder to find. And I'm just trying to see now what the date on these ones are. If I left the patch back, I'm still on them. Sometimes we used to cut the patches off them. 1995, these ones are. So that's what the patch on them should look like. And on the combats, you could actually, the combats are nearly the exact same as the 60 pattern. The only difference is they didn't have this pleat, whereas these ones do. And on the pockets there was a pleat, but they're not gone now. And my pants, I think, are old. Oh, no, they're not. The 95 as well. So it's a matching set. Yeah, there's the jacket and pants for an old set of Irish Green Combat. Like the Irish, there is a law actually in Ireland that you're not supposed to sell, or you're not supposed to own any current issue military clothing, or any current issue police clothing, or any current issue emergency service clothing. And that's got to do with the gentlemen up the north when they were robbing post offices and banks and things like that. They didn't want, because they used to use those uniforms as a cover, and they brought in a law now that they can. It's still there to this day. You can't have an issue uniform, and if you can be, if you are seen with it, the police will stop you, or they will take it off you, things like that. And the guy that gave it to you or sold it to you or whatever, they can be questioned. It does happen. I've heard of it happening. Canada has the same rules in current combat uniform on current combat kit. Yeah, there are some countries that have the same rules. There are some countries that have the restrictions as well. I wonder what would still. I wonder would you still get away with wearing a green in service today, or would you draw someone's attention? Oh, you would get a lot of attention if you arrive. As in, if you walked into the barracks with greens on instead of DPMs, some sergeant major would have a canary, and he'd see you from the gate before he you'd hear him. You could hear the rumble. It'd be like a freight train coming at you. Um, yeah, no, I don't think it would happen. We used to joke that airsofters got hold of kit before we did. We used to joke that airsofters got hold of kit before we did. They used to like airsoft. We used we used to be messing as well, like the military collectors and guys somehow would manage to get stuff before any of the rest of us. I found an airborne helmet on eBay for £45, and can I hell identify it? I think it's anything. I don't think it's anything exotic. Probably seen them USA M1 type. Think I've been trolled the internet and I'm stuck. Sorry? I found an airborne helmet on eBay for £45. And can I hell identify it? Don't think it's anything exotic. Probably some form of US AM1 type thing, but I've trolled the internet and I'm stuck. Right, so my M1 knowledge slightly non-existent. Well, I do have some, but it's not the most. So the M1 helmet is, if it's a front seam, if there's a seam on the front, it's early Second World War. And it has to have what they call a fixed bill. These bits for the chin strap are fixed, okay, or welded one piece. That happened throughout the war. Then the seam went to the back, and that happened in 1943 or 44, something like that. So they're the only way I can tell of what a M1 helmet, do I can tell the date. On an airborne helmet, those bills then are round or oval. They're not straight and up. They're not like a staple, pretty much. They are rounded. That's how I can tell in the airborne ones. As for liners and things like that, I don't have a bull's notion of how I can tell liners. I'm still only learning about the helmets. Most lads use the green stuff for exercises if they play the enemy. Yes, when you're enemy, you can sort of wear whatever the hell you want. So yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that. I found two Vickers helmets on Dundee, no symbol on them though. How much are they looking for them on eBay? Black Vickers helmet on eBay, 500 is way overpriced. No, not €500 for a Vickers helmet. They do fetch that. It depends on the condition. It really does depend on the condition, and it depends on whether it's liners on the inside of it and stuff like that. Those Vickers helmets go anywhere from €200, €300 to €1,000. It really depends on the condition, and it really depends on the date of stuff like that. Need to drop the clown. Oh yeah, he's gone. Somebody dealt with him there anyway. One has no liner. Ask him on the back of the helmets. I have no helmet now that I can really show. Just use this cap for an example. So there's your Royal Marines cap, but we're pretending this is a Vickers helmet now at the minute. So this is your front part, obviously. Your back part here. So we'll say this is your back part. Right at the very back of it, you should see a manufacturer. Actually, Military Collectibles, and I don't know, is he around tonight or is he in tonight? Military Collectibles showed exactly where the date is. I think it was 10,000 of them produced, right? His one is around 800 and something, so his is a fairly early one. The earlier your helmet is, the better. Um, Obviously, it's like anything that's limited edition. Check it now. Whoa, there we go. There's my reproduction World War Two right angle torch. But it depends on the condition. If those helmets are known to have dents and everything and anything in them, um, so it depends. Less dents, more money. More dents, less money. It all depends on the condition, and it all depends how much you're going to argue with the guy that's selling it to. What is the favorite item in your collection? It does not have to be the most expensive one. Haha, I found the torch. um, most My favorite item in the collection. I don't really have a favorite. This guy, all right. I like him. He sort of never changes. He's always the same because I bought him as a one piece in the collection, and he came all together. So he'd be my favorite banner type thing. Um, my favorite World War Two item would have to be my hold all because I put an awful lot of work into that. My hold all with my shaving brush and things like that. And my haversack, anything that's in my haversack, would be my favorite item because I've spent an awful lot of money on that. And sorry, I won't say I've spent an awful lot of money. I've spent an awful lot of time on it. Where have we gone now? Dents. Dents add character. They do add character, but in relation to Vickers helmets, some people don't mind the dents in them. Some people prefer them without the dents. Good info, John. It has a separate inner liner, but rivets all the way around the steel outer helmet. That doesn't sound right. And its shape is odd and very easily dented. No, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all, Stanford, especially for a military helmet. Shouldn't be easily dented. I've applied for the Irish Guards Regiment, now reading up on their World War One history. One of the first units into France in 1914. Yes, they were. An awful lot of Irish regiments were the first thing you had. Irish Guards, Munster Fusiliers, the Leinster Regiment, Connacht Rangers, London Irish. Sorry, London Irish weren't. It was a lot of the full-time Irish regiments were sent in first. Um, if you're going into the Irish Guards, Richard Kipling, son, Jack Kipling, was a member of the 2nd Battalion, was killed at Mons, I believe. Lewes. Mons or Lewes was killed at one of the two of them. There you go. Royal Dubs, Royal Dublin Fusiliers. Yes, I forgot about Royal Dublin Fusiliers. They were another one. Who else? What else famous did the Irish Guards do? During the Second World War, they were part of Market Garden. They were the lead battalion during our Operation Market Garden when they were mechanized. They also fought in Italy during World War II. Lose. There we go, Dutch. I knew it was one or the other. We actually talked about that there a few weeks back. Yeah, so he was killed in Lewes. So if they ask you in the interview, do you know anyone famous from the Irish Guards? There you go. The Irish Guards are the 4th Regiment of Foot, if I remember. So on their red tunic, their buttons are grouped in 4s. Yeah, the Coldstreams are single. Then the Coldstreams are single. And then the Grenadiers are second. Theirs are in 2s. Then the Scots are in 3s. The Irish in 4s. The Irish in 4s. I know the Irish Guards were formed in 1902 after the Boer War as a thanks to the Irish guys and the Irish regiments that had fought in the Boer War, Second Boer War, and the Queen Victoria decided to make a regiment of guards as a thank you and she picked, and an awful lot of the tallest guys from all the other Irish regiments went and formed the Irish Guards. A lot of history in my family in the Guards Regiment. It's always something I've had an interest in, up to the medical and the fitness. Best of luck anyway. My boy Jack, yes, that's the film we were talking about before. Um, Neil, or Niall. Yeah, very. Best of luck. Just keep the head down with the fitness tests and stuff like that. It's always good to have, and it's always just keep tipping away at fitness. And there's nothing much you can do about the medical. You fail the medical, you fail the medical. And it could be certain things that might tell you, that it didn't work, go towards you on the day, but don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Uh, what was the officer Michael Caine played? Was that the officer Michael Caine played in Britain? No, Kipling's. Yes, Michael Caine did play an officer from the Irish Guards, but he played the commanding officer of, I think they were the second battalion, was the mechanized battalion during the Second World War. I can't remember his name, but Kipling's son was killed in the First World War, not in the Second World War. There we go. That's who he played. Joe Vandeleur. Not a very much Irish name, but there we go. Joe Vandeleur. Sorry for the spelling. I've been in Ireland all my life, lads, and I don't know any Vandeleurs. Probably they're around the place somewhere. Some, I don't know if it's a Norman name, but Wellington, famous guy. He was another famous Irishman. Paddy Mayne, another famous Irishman. They're from Clare, the Vandeleurs. Or your family are from Clare. All right. Family are still there, I believe. Oh, I don't know. My name is Michael Caine. A lot of people know that. Yeah. No, the Vandeleurs are from Clare. I must look up that now. Let's go tracking down the Vandeleurs. I go check them down in the. Sorry, excuse me. This chair is bugging me. I go check them down in the Clare Museum and go through the books. See where they're from. Oh, there it goes. I saved my torch from falling off one cabinet and it falls off my Bren box onto the floor. So Stan, I still have these actually. I haven't sent them to you yet. I must get them in the post. So, can anyone tell the date on Russian stuff? Because it's got lots of weird writing and symbols and backward Y's, and I have no idea. Podrick, you're around the place. Podrick, you can tell us, educate us on Russian field caps, side caps. No, there's no badge on this, but you can see where it was badged. I presume this is the later one. This is the 70s, 80s one, maybe. And then this is the earlier version. I could be wrong. I don't know much about Russian stuff. That's why it's going to Stan. Because Stan likes the Russians. That sounds German. I'm very bad at accents. Red piping on the cap is officer. Oh, right. I did not know that. There we go. Wellington would not like your statement just because you are born in a stable does not make you a horse. Yes, he famously said that actually when somebody referred to him as being Irish before. But he did. He had a love-hate relationship with the Irish peasants, as he used to call them. But he worshipped the Irish guys in his army. But in other stuff, yeah, he wasn't exactly the nicest of guys when it comes to the Irish. Wellington never said that. Also fought a duel with a Catholic emancipation. fought a duel for the Catholic emancipation. Wellington was mixed up. Wellington did say that. I do remember him. Do remember reading that quote somewhere. Um, he was very class. He did believe a lot in the class distinction, but he did have a soft spot for Irish soldiers and Irish regiments that fought with him. So yeah, so there we go. Where have we gone now? What would be your dream deactivated dry firing, if possible, weapon? And yes, send me them. They might not fit me as I've got a big head. That's Stan. You don't have a big head. My dream DX gun. I've been after a Sterling for ages. Can't find a DX Sterling anywhere. At the minute. Dream DX. I have a few on my list actually. Let's go that way. So I want to get a Mark IV. I want to get a Sterling, and I want to get a Federal riot gun. They're my top three at the minute. Where are we going? Best thing with Wellington meant was the boots. Yes, Wellington boots. Yeah, the 88 Royal Enniskillings at Waterloo gave commands in Gaelic. They saved the centre of the line. Yes, they did. Little known fact as well, during the 6-day war, the Israelis spoke Gaelic or Irish openly over the radios so that no one could understand them. They had sent guys to Ireland to study Gaelic and Irish. They could speak it fluently. Little interesting fact for you there as well. You beat me, Niall. They were rarely worn, though. You beat me, Niall. They were rarely worn, though. Usually with dress uniforms. My mistake, Niall, is actually correct. Niall is actually correct. Rushing to conclusion. Oh, I thought he did say that. I can remember reading somewhere as well in a book of quotes or a book of something that he did say. Nelson's famous one as well was "Kiss Me Hardy" when he was shot. He didn't actually say that. He said something else like, "Ow, I've been shot in the back and my spine has been severed and I'm suffering and I'm choking to death of my own blood." I don't know, but yeah, kiss me hardy. I don't really think he would have said that. My dream react is a Piat. Oh, yeah, Piat. Could you deact a Piat? I mean, the spring in that thing's like Arctic spring. It's huge. Anyway, Padraig, do you want to translate that there? Because I'm not going to. That's a very good Gaelic saying, actually. Yeah, kiss me hardy. Not something. It's not think. They're not the famous last words of somebody that you'd think. Well, they are. I suppose they are. They're quoted as being his last words. But yeah, I couldn't exactly. After you've been shot in the spine and you're choking to death on your own blood and you're paralyzed from the neck down, going, "Kiss me hardy, please." Lewis gun for me currently at out 6,500 sterling. Very expensive. I can speak Gaelic. Was born in Scotland. There you go, Jim. Uh, we used to go to Carrow every summer. If any of you don't know where Carrow is in the Gaeltacht in the west of Ireland, and they speak proper Gaeltacht, proper Gaelic. Wasn't it Kiss? I can't remember. I thought it was Kiss Me Hardy. Kiss Me Hardy. I thought that was supposedly his last words. Will Kitchener. Kitchener was from Kerry. Hard to imagine him with a Healy Ray accent. Or her. I don't know. Could he? Yeah, there was lots and lots of famous guys and famous generals from Ireland. Um, I heard it was Kismet too. Maybe. I don't know. Can speak it, but not read it, unfortunately. Yeah, there's not. I can read Old Gaelic. I find New Gaelic hard, but Old Gaelic I can read. Old Gaelic's nearly ciphered. Um, it's like there's letters and all. Your country needs you. That was the famous poster actually of Kitchener. Your country needs you. Like in fairness to Kitchener during the First World War, I mean he was ruthless in certain ways, stupid in other ways, but he did manage to get an army together when it was needed, which was very hard to do. Well, I won't say it was hard to do, but I mean, like the propaganda side and stuff, he was very, very good at it. The tactics of the British Army during the First World War, the tactics of everybody during the First World War, were sheer bloody barbaric. It's like, do you remember that famous Blackadder? You know, he gets called to not Captain Darling. What was the colonel's name? So Blackadder, we've a new plan. We've it's top secret. And Blackadder's like, what? Same as the last 13, straight over the top in mass waves. And he's like, how did you know? So I mean, like, that type of mentality. Gaelic is a wonderful old language and must be kept alive. Yes, it must be kept alive. Um, I'd speak Gaelic here, but I don't think most of the lads would understand me. Even some of the Irish lads. They go to start to Lane Gaelic. They'll be like, ah. That's hello, how are you? Have you any stories or have you any information or gossip? Diegwit, Conasatatu, will ain scale a gut. Hi mate, how are you doing? Military man, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. You're in Canada, if I remember, so I mean it must be very early for you in the morning. Um, some signs in Scotland are in English and in Gaelic, but I'll be damned if I'll read them. No, Gaelic is very hard to read. Uh, Not as bad as Butcher's. No, he was nuts. Haig was nuts. Haig was. Oh, it's weird too. Like it's probably there was a bit of it. I understand that before you translated it. Oh, okay. Um. Uh. The First World War, I suppose, is famous for the fact that um you still had a massive class distinction. Class distinction. Like you very, 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 very rarely hear of officers being made up through the ranks. It was all um, public school, sorry, not public school, private school, boarding school. That was officers, and the working classes were the foot soldiers, the sloggers. No, not that they didn't face their same sides of danger. They both sides did, but yeah, it was probably the last war where you see that distinction. General Joyce of France's army made the Germans effectively lose the war by 1914. Sorry? Made the Germans effectively lose the war by 20. I mean, they literally, from 1914, when you think about it, that war was in a stalemate. They should have signed a peace treaty or tried to negotiate what the hell they were doing at 1914, 1915. When they started digging trenches and no one started moving and they were literally beating each other back and forward over a couple of miles. Yeah, you're at a stalemate then at that stage. Where have I gone? I remember someone explaining Irish is a very poetic language we call escalators usually starts when they are broken. We say the living stairs are dead. Yes, exactly. Not very poetic. Like my name in Irish, Shanahan, right? Each name can be broken down as well. So my name in Gaelic or my name in Irish is Sean O'Shunacan. So in English it's John Shanahan. In Irish it's Sean O'Shunacan. So Sean is John. right? O is son of. Shunnock is fox, and Con is sly. So it's John, son of Sly Fox. If I was a girl, it'd be Nee, daughter of. So yeah, so that's how we break down our names. Every word or every thing in Irish or Gaelic can be translated. Like we don't have words for a black man. He's a fair gov or blue man because there's no black. Because to call him black in Irish, or sorry, fair Gorham, to call him black in Irish is actually an insult. Even then, like the nearest thing we could describe him as blue. So he's a blue man. Um, uh, like we don't even say a rainy day. Tasha Fluxalok. It's damp and dirty. It's not just like it's like is it raining? Yeah, Tasha Fluxalok. It's like four words for one. Yeah, it's raining. You know. So yeah, interesting. Um, where have we gone now? I remember someone explaining. Yeah, sorry. Did I get? Yes, I did. I did receive your comments about the helmets, the Brody helmets. So the consensus so far, now I'm going to give it another few days, is this is the one we're going to be restoring. We're going to leave this one. We're going to leave this one. This is the one with the three holes on it. So this, apparently the holes is to, I have been doing, and people have been telling me, the holes is to represent the quality of the steel. So it goes, it's 4 grades. This is the 3rd grade. Um, no holes, top quality, all the way down to 4 holes. So that's what we're doing. This one has been left alone by the sound of it. I probably will take out the lining just to give it a clean, and this bolt needs to be tightened, and put a bit of dubbing on the liner, right? So chances are that one is staying the same, and I'm happy with that. So this one, this is the raw rim one, right? Now I still need to do a bit of research into this one because there's 2 trains of thought. One is it is an economy version from the Second World War. They did not have the rims, right? But they should have a mark on it, a stamp on it, because they were stamped after 1940. Prior to 1938, I believe, they didn't have a stamp, they didn't have a date on them. If that is the case, this would be a First World War shell, right? Uh, so I need to check that, and we need to do a bit more research on it to see was this a repurposed shell. Now, either way, whether it's Second World War or First World War, because it is raw, there's a raw rim on it, I will be converting this to a First World War Brody because I have not seen a good video on how to install a First World War liner. Whereas with the Second World War liners, it's bloody easy. You slip it in, you bolt it in, there's one bolt at the top, and you put on your chin strap. Whereas with the First World War one, there's a bit more involved in it. So that's what this one is looking like it's going to be done in. All right, so we'll see. Where have we gone? Did you receive the comments? Yes. The Canadian Army has real identity crisis. Some regiments have Scottish ancestry and wear kilts, but the others are in French. And there is an actual Irish regiment in the Canadian Army as well. They're a reserve regiment, but there is a Canadian regiment in there as well. That's what always passes me by. The details of battle and commenting on it. Battling, I find it easier to relate to human stories. I would prefer the more educated way of learning. Um, I'm not sure what you mean in relation to that now, Stan. Polish has the same castle zipper lock, yeah. So confusing as so it has extra letters too, like Gaelic. Yeah, I mean Gaelic as well. They like Inish, well we see now, Inish is Ireland. Let's think of a name. Ballyauclia is Dublin. Ballyauclia, Ballyauclia, Dublin. I don't know where they got the English translation of that, and a lot of it too was I can't pronounce that, so we're just going to make up our own fucking name for it. Pardon my French. A lot of them Brody helmets ended up as military aid to the Bangladeshi army in 1971 when they when they fought Pakistan for independence. Yeah, they did. Military surplus and stuff like that gets moved all over the world. I'm sure there was a chap here that was from Ukraine there, that was in Ukraine a while ago, and I guarantee you he's got military surplus from Afghanistan or Falklands or somewhere. What was the name of the Irish lad that was shot at dawn at the age of 15? He recruited him. His recruited him by his officer, same name. I'm not sure the Irish guy. There's the Irish guy that was shot at dawn. I must look it up. Actually, there was a young guy. I don't know, was he 15 or 16? He must have been. You're saying 15? Was shot at dawn. There is a dispute going on at the minute as well over the Condon. Condon is your man's name. He's from Waterford, from Gorey. Was it Gorey? They say he is the youngest. He was 15 or 16 when he was killed. So they reckon. So if that was the case, he would have enlisted when he was like 13 or 14 or something like that. Um, but there are other historians and other people saying that it's not him, that it's a different guy. Now, the both of them happen to both be Irish. And so I'm not actually 100% sure. Dublin came from the Old Norse word of Blackpool, Dublinia, yeah. Blackpool, Dublin. So why is it called Ballyockley in Irish? That's what I can't understand. I don't know. Yeah, like Dublinium was the Viking name for Dublin, all right. But in Gaelic, Dublin is Ballyockley. Outrageous that they shot soldiers at dawn. Shot soldiers at dawn. Yeah, it is outrageous. But I suppose back then, military code of conduct was completely different than it is now. I don't actually know what the punishment is for desertion in the face of the enemy now at the moment. Sure, that chap in the States, he didn't get that for long. He only got a couple of years in jail, I think. What was his name? Big rigmarole about him that they sent guys. There was guys killed going looking for him and all that, but he had ended up deserting and joining the Taliban, if I remember correctly, or was found by the Taliban. Um, Birdall, I think was his name. PTSD was regularly known concept after World War One. All the rules, yeah, exactly. Um, an awful lot of those guys were shell shocked. River, river was it not? As most towns on rivers have similar names. Um, yeah, they do actually, or where they're from as well. You have Blackwater, Blackthorn, things like that. Yeah, half of those poor lads were shell shocked and had no idea of what was going on. Yeah, Burdall, that was the guy that went in America, or they went missing in Afghanistan and turned up. But in relation to the shell shock of the First World War, uh, officers. This is the thing. There are cases where guys were suffering from shell shock. Did all the guys that were shot at dawn have shell shock? I don't know. I'd need to research it a bit more. Chances are the vast majority of them did. Um, there are cases that say that just because a guy had shell shock or just because a guy had PTSD doesn't mean we would have shot him for cowardice or for desertion or whatever. Um, Unfortunately, an awful lot of the shot at dawn people were unlucky in the fact that they had so much things going against them. It depended on who reported them. It depended on who initially charged them. It depended on their company commanders referring it to court martial. Whereas some company commanders would deal with it through field punishment, or they would know, look, he's gone, he's got PTSD or shell shocked, send him to the rear or whatever. Um, there was an awful lot of it for the guys that were shot at dawn. An awful lot. It was absolutely so unlucky. Some of it was even covered up. Some of it was just, oh, what do we do with him? Just shoot him. Just shoot him. Let it be an example for everyone else. Yeah, so it's hard. Any thoughts on wellies and gaiters in British service in Northern Ireland? They were worn. I've seen pictures of them worn. Um, I have seen both. I have seen them wearing wellies and I have seen them wearing gaiters. Normally, you see them wearing the wellies or Wellington boots on camp duties, such as gate duty in the camp or just walking around the camp from one sanger to another sanger and stuff like that. Because doing a foot patrol in a pair of boots wouldn't mean that much. Um, so yeah. The Gators are, you often see the guys wearing Gators doing patrols, country patrols a lot. Sorry, John. Where have we gone? Oh, sorry, John. I mean that I find human stories of war, etc., more accessible. I find the statistics and order of battle harder to learn. I find it hard, especially when reading. Yeah, I do find the actual personal stories. That's what interests me a lot more than the 12th Division at 9 o'clock advanced in a northeasterly direction towards the valley of, I don't know, wherever. Um, but whereas if I was reading a book and going, yeah, we got up in the morning, we had breakfast, and we had to march 5 miles, and we were absolutely shattered and couldn't give a fiddler's F on what we faced at the end of it. That's the type they're the stories I find more interesting. Whatever happened to all I actually have one of them. I actually don't know what happened to them. Were they sold off to somebody else? I don't know whatever happened. The Orlight helmet he's talking about, which is the Israeli helmet. Now I need to repaint this one, but it's the actual Israeli helmet that was worn by the Irish Army during the 70s and 80s, and the 90s up until the end of the 90s and start of the 2000s, till they got the American version pretty much. Oh, no, I put on weight since this chin strap was closed. But yeah, so I need to paint this one because it should be olive. I can't even get the chin strap open now. There we go. There we go. No, so that's an Orlight helmet for any of you that want to know. Where have we gone? We meant to say, yeah, a fiddler's fudge. Yeah, a fiddler's fudge. I actually have an interesting document actually in relation to shell shock. If I have it here. Um, Now, this is a medical report. It's a reproduction, but it's a medical report for a guy who had a shell shock. Now, this guy, I believe, is a famous poet. I must read into him. Welsh. Where is he? Second Lieutenant Wilfred Owen. Right. In March 1917, he fell down a well at Beaumont and was momentarily stunned. He was under medical treatment for 3 weeks and then returned to duty. About midnight on April, about the middle of April, he was blown up by a shell explosion while was asleep. On May 1st, he was observed to be shaking and shaking tremendously, and his conduct and manner were particularly unusual and confused. The RMO sent him to number 41 something hospital, where he was under observation and treatment by Captain Brown, Royal Army Medical Corps neurological specialist, for a month. And on the 6th of May 1970, he was transferred to number 1 hospital and Welsh hospital. So he was sent to Wales, Yeah, so basically, it's a medical report on some poor lieutenant that has been suffering from shell shock. Um, Now, I do remember somebody telling me that this guy is actually a famous poet. Um, so, fit for general service, unfit for 6 months. Fit for service in garrison, not acceptable. Fit for home service, unfit for 3 months. Fit for light duty at home, not fit for 3 months. Requires indoor hospital treatment in an officer's hospital, yes. In an officer's convalescent home, not acceptable. Fit for duty, for light duty in a command depot, not acceptable. Fit for treatment only in command depot, not acceptable. Was the disability conducted during service? Yes. Was the conduct only? Yes. So I mean, like it's just a medical report. Can you see it there? And this is a reproduction. So little such stories like that, um, I find interesting. Let's put this back out of the way. No, sorry for waffling on. Where have I gone? Whatever happened to the old? Or sorry, I meant that one. You meant to say yeah, James Crozier, age 16. No idea. Must look him up. Bent double like old beggars under socks. Knock knock. Bent double like old beggars under sacks. Knock need cough like hags. We crashed through sledge. Ah, that's him. That's the guy that wrote the poem. So yeah, so he basically, according to that report, had shell shock during the First World War. There we go. So that's his poem. I know he was a famous poem. Somebody had told me it was a famous poem. Thank you, Jim. Jesus, lads, it's 1:43. Where has the time gone? We'll give it another 5 or 10 minutes and then we will finish up. Because it's getting late. It is getting late. It's nearly 1:45. So yeah, so Stan there will be on the way to you hopefully this week. One is the officers apparently, and the other one is the enlisted. Podrick said that. So I just put them away. I spend more time putting stuff away after I get off the live stream because I just be moving stuff around trying to talk to you. So yeah, so there we go. So we've 9 people online now at the minute, and we've 8 likes. So one more like, guys. Give us one more like. We'll go tight. We'll try and even it up. Oh, we've 10 people online now. Yeah. So there's a few of the local lads not been in actually tonight. Actually, there's a few jobs that I need to do actually. Really enjoyed this one. Very best wishes to all. Night. You off, Jim? Yeah. There's a few things I need to do. Dutch. I want to make you. Where have we gone? I'm going to make you an admin. And where is Jim? Jim, because you're regular enough, lads. I'm going to make you an admin. So there we go. So congratulations on your promotion. Actually, Stan, you're a local. I don't know if you know how to work it, but we're going to promote you anyway. So there's a few promotions handed out now for the evening. Hello, I'm a new subscriber. Greetings from Brazil. Welcome from Brazil. Infantryman. Well, I mean, I didn't know I was reaching Brazil, but thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Potters Club. Bren bits were sent on Tuesday. Shouldn't be that long. Oh, very good. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks very much. Andrew sent me a few Bren bits for my Bren box. So now I'm going to be looking for an anti-aircraft Bren gun tripod. Interesting documentary, The Great War, narrated by Sir Michael Very only thing it's on YouTube. I must look that up. There's another good one as well called The Psalm, um, and it's acted as well, so it's good. 10 likes and 10 likes too. Oh, we do have 10 likes. We've 14 people online now. Uh, Brazil fought in World War II. They did, and they fought in the First World War as well, if I remember correctly. Um, and at the Dominican Republic in the 60s. I didn't know they fought in the Dominican Republic in the 60s. Learn something new every day. Cheers for the promotion. I will see how to work it. Podrick, give that man a tutorial there on how to work stuff. Sit him down. I never got promoted beyond Lance Corporal in the CCF. There we go. So you're promoted now as well, Jim. Yeah, so there we go, lads. It won't be long now before we'll have everyone frigging promoted. So that's it, lads. It's a quarter to a. Sorry, it's not. It's 10 to 10. So it is time to log off. Give you one of these, and I will see same time in next Friday. And my video for the weekend will be up on Sunday. This Sunday, though, yeah, it'll be up on Sunday, but it'll be up early on Sunday. So there we go. So hope to see you again. I hope you enjoy your weekend, guys. See you next Friday. Pass the word to your friends to subscribe. We're at 400 and roughly 408 now, I think, was before I came online. So pass the word to your friends if they're interested in military history, if they're interested in having a chat, having a crack. Tell them log in for the Friday Era Military Collectibles, 8 o'clock on Friday. Have a good one.